when doors close in your face, when you don't get the opportunities that you have been wishing for, wanting for, when relationships don't work out, when X, Y, and Z, the things that happen to us on a day-to-day basis that are going to continue happening throughout our lives, you have to look at it like, okay, God has something better for me. Let me control what I can control. Do what I can do, continue doing what I'm doing, and that's all you can do. But don't sit and cry over spilled milk. Like, you're going to be wasting your time, you're going to be wasting your energy, and that's how the enemy is going to get you to drift. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Mindful Vibes 365 podcast, where we have productive and stimulating conversations about how to be more mindful in all the areas of your life. I'm your host, Malaysia, and today I want to talk about something that's been really heavy on my heart, something that I've experienced quite a bit this year, and something that I actually just experienced today. Okay, and this is actually something that we're all going to experience throughout our life, time and time again, but how you handle it and how you think about it is going to determine how it affects your life. And that is none other than rejection. Now, honestly, y'all, we've all heard the phrase rejection is protection, but how often do you actually just sit and really think deep into what that really means for real in terms of what's going on in your life in general? Like, really taking a bird's eye view when you're going through things, dealing with situations, getting rejections back to back to back. How often do you really just think layers deep into things to really sit and truly understand that the rejection that you are receiving, have received, getting ready to receive, and be met with is for your own protection? Like, how do you handle rejection in real time when it feels like it's a door just slamming right in your face? How do you deal with that? Today, I want to talk about how do we actually get to a place where we don't just hear that phrase, rejection is protection, but actually start to believe it and fully, truly embrace it and understand it and accept it. So first things first, what you have to understand is rejection can come in so many different forms, right? Like not getting the job that you really wanted, being denied for a home loan, not being chosen for that new car or new opportunity, just not being approved, a relationship ending, a relationship never even starting, divorce, and even deeper things to the point of like not being able to conceive children with the partner that you're currently with, somebody you thought you was going to spend the rest of your entire life with, right? These are different deep struggles that people face every single day, and most of the times it's looked at like rejection. But when we think deeper into these different things, ultimately later down the line, we always end up seeing why things played out the way that they did. Okay, rejection does not just show up in one lane. It will touch every area of your life and really just hit you. And because rejection touches literally every single area in our lives, y'all, that's why it's so important to actually learn how to see rejection as protection, because it's just so powerful. Like how you frame it and how you look at it and these different things that's going on and opposition that you're facing, right? It changes everything. The outlook and the perspective and the lens that you look at this stuff through is really going to change everything for you. So I want to give y'all a little backstory. Okay, like I said, I have been experiencing rejection this entire year of 25. I swear 25 has been a year full of good character development, as I would say. I actually want to give y'all a quick little story time just to put things into perspective and give y'all a real life example. Okay, boom. So earlier this year, I was at a company, and while at this company, I was actually interviewing for other positions elsewhere. Now, I was able to snag a interview for a very, 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 very well-known company. I will not say the name of it, of course, but this was a great position, a very exciting, right up my alley. I'm in sales. I've always been in sales. So baby, that's my field of expertise. That's where I shine the brightest. That's all I've ever done. Cool. Okay. It was the perfect fit. It was a 5-round interview process. Now, first and foremost, I'll say that all them hoops that you have to jump through are not my favorite thing, but whatever. Okay. I took it on the chin. I studied, I prepared, I prepped everything that I needed to do. And if we're being honest, each round went great. Like I interviewed very well. Obviously, like it's in my nature. I can talk to anybody. I know what I'm talking about. As long as I know what I'm talking about, we good. Okay. And I always prepare very well for my interviews. So like everything lined up. Everything was perfect. Each round, boom, boom. Grade A performance, 10 out of 10. I will say that much. much. And everything honestly just lined up to the point where I was so confident. I was just like, okay, yeah, like, of course, it's me. I got this in the bag. Boom. So at the end of the 5 rounds, obviously there was like a little waiting period. Like, hey, we're going to get back to you. We're going to actually be out of office for a couple days of the weekend, blah, blah, blah. And we'll get back to you next week. Now, typically, when somebody wants to hire you, they are going to move quickly, okay, in regards to letting you know that you're hired and sending that offer letter over for you to sign. Now, the process of interviewing was very quick. I finished one interview, one meeting, boom, another one was set. Like, it was like clockwork. Then when it came time to actually give me a decision, that's when delays started to happen. Stuff started to go real silent. Okay, you're telling me that you're going to let me know by this day. I don't hear nothing, right? Now, me knowing how these companies operate, okay, you have to make sure you check behind people, reach out, send a little nice little follow-up message. And long story short, you guys, I actually ended up having a dream the night before I was told that I didn't get the job. And it was a dream. It's clear as day. A voice was telling me, you are not going to get this job, but it's okay because I have something better for you. But when I tell y'all, that dream was so clear. I woke up out my sleep and I was like, well, I got my answer, so it's no point in me even stressing over this no more. It's like, dang, okay, but all I can do is accept it, right? I wake up the next morning, I get the official email like, hey, so sorry, we're just now getting back to you, but you know, we decided to go in a different direction. And obviously, like, nobody wants to hear that shit. Okay, like, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that, and nobody wants to get rejection emails. You know, nobody wants to keep hearing, I'm sorry, but we went a different direction. Like, of course, nobody wants to hear that. It really did sting at first because it was like, dang, I done put all my time and effort into this little funky interview process, jumping through all these hoops just to tell me this, and I had to hit you up to tell me. You already know what the answer was. Anyway, so, you know, I took time to really think about that morning, but I get over stuff very quickly because it's no reason to dwell on these things. It is what it is, right? If it was in God's will, I would have got the job. If it wasn't, which it wasn't, I didn't. So that's how I looked at it. But shortly thereafter, really honestly, maybe a couple days after I found out that I didn't get the job, I did some digging, and I also found out that the company was actually facing a very, 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 very heavy lawsuit. Okay, so in my head, I'm thinking like, wow, this could have been a sign, or this could have been a reason why they didn't hire me. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe they didn't hire me because they did find another candidate. Okay, whatever. But also it's like, oh, you got to think about it. As a company, if you're facing and undergoing a super duper heavy lawsuit, that's taking money away from the company, which ultimately takes away money from the budget, which ultimately takes away money from the employees that you can pay. So in my head, I'm thinking like, wow, you know, imagine if I would have gotten this job, right? And my mental health and my stability and my future plans and all these different things could have potentially been shaken up 4, 5, 6 months down the line. I'm thinking everything good, and nah. Actually, we got to lay you off. You know, we got to lay you off for no apparent reason. But it's like, I feel like it was a reason why I found out that they were facing a lawsuit, a very heavy, when I'm talking about heavy, I mean a heavy lawsuit, y'all. And honestly, it was just like, wow, okay, right? Like, this is making sense now. Like I said, I don't know if that's the reason why I didn't get hired, but just think about every possibility. I like to look at situations and analyze situations like that, like in a good way. Maybe this is a reason why, okay? And if this would have happened, then this could have been something that happens. That's how you have to analyze things when you're just sitting, reflecting, and meditating on it. And y'all, just even being more honest and more transparent. As I'm recording this episode today, this same exact thing just happened to me. Like, I am not even joking. I just received some news this morning about a position that I interviewed for like almost a month ago, which also had 5 rounds of interviews and 10s across the board. Like, I killed it. Okay, when I say I did so well with this particular company and interviews and the processes. They had me doing homework. Like I said, I did so well. I interviewed very well, very personable. Everyone loved me, checking in on me. Now it's making sense why things went the way that they went. But y'all, I got a rejection email today, okay? Nobody even knew that I was interviewing for this company, first of all. I didn't even tell anybody that I was in an interview process because I just believe in this season of my life, there's certain things that I'm gonna do that I'm not gonna tell nobody, right? But anyway, that's besides the point. I just got a rejection email today. So this is fresh on my head, which is why I'm even having this conversation with y'all right now, because I really just wanted to let you know, like, you're going to be faced with rejection over and over and over. Granted, it won't be back to back, but it's like we're gonna have these moments in our lives all the time, right? So crazy enough, again, last night when I was just reflecting on, like, dang, you know, like, they've checked in with me multiple times just to see, you know, if I have any timelines on my end or if I need a answer right now. They've checked in on me to see how the interview process was going, and that everyone really loved talking to me, and oh, it's just going to be a couple more days. We're wrapping up some more conversations and so forth and so forth. Well, we'll definitely have an answer for you, right? First of all, I kept getting met with different stories, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play it cool. I'm not gonna be anxious. I'm not gonna rush an answer. Like, I did my part, and if this is the position that I'm supposed to have with this company, it'll be, and if not, it won't. And it's not. Also, just going back to the point of last night, I was reflecting on it, like, hey, hopefully tomorrow is the day that I actually get an answer. I haven't just been in a space of, oh my gosh, I want this job so bad, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It was more so just like, okay, I just want an answer. Either it's gonna be this or it's gonna be that. Because first of all, my time has been heavily invested into this. It's been weeks. It don't take that long to let a person know if you want to hire them or not. The decision has been made, to be honest. I don't know why y'all playing around with me and playing games, but you could have just been told me this. But I'm gonna give you till tomorrow, which is today, the day that I'm filming this episode. But yeah, y'all, this is how I know my God be looking out for me. He really be communicating with me through my dreams, because this has happened to me so many times. My dreams are so powerful, y'all. But in this dream that I had, I heard chatter. It was like office chatter, office gossip, right? When people are like whispering about different stuff, and imagine you're the only person in the office that doesn't know what these people are talking about, what everyone else is talking about and laughing about. And in this dream, it was just like, so when are they going to tell her? Like, when are they going to tell her? Because I heard that they've already made a decision. I don't know what's the holdup and why they haven't told her yet, but you know, ha ha ha. Y'all, I woke up this morning, read the email, and honestly, the email was so BS, but that's okay though, because at the end of the day, rejection is protection, and I don't know what me not getting this position is potentially protecting me from. It literally could be anything, right? And that's how you have to look at stuff, like, what could this be protecting me from? And also, like, what could be the next best thing, the next best blessing, the next best breakthrough that comes out of this, right? Because I have my own personal endeavors and things and interests that I'm working on and developing and pouring so deeply into right now. So it's like, God could be like, you know what? I'm not going to make this happen, because if I make this happen, you're going to shift your focus off of this. And this is what I really want to blow up for you. So, I don't want that to happen for you. Okay. Anything. My last job that I had really took a toll on me mentally. Like, it stressed me out so bad to the point where I had like the worst acne ever. Now, I don't know what I did to, you know, have acne as a byproduct of stress, but y'all, when I say my last job stressed me out so bad to the point, like, I don't even know how I was going out the house, how I was looking, because my acne was so bad. But just thinking about this job that I didn't get, it's like, okay, maybe this is another one of them situations where it's like, nope, I don't even want to put you in this position, because it ain't gonna do nothing but stress you out, and then you're gonna fall off from, like I said, your endeavors that you're deeply into right now. I need you to lean into these endeavors and your interests and the things that you're doing even more heavy. Okay, like, you was leaned into it heavy. Okay, you've been in it deep, but I need you to lean even deeper, go even harder and just double down altogether. So like I said, I'll never know the true reason why, but I don't need to know because I can just draw my own conclusions. I look at things from a very bright perspective, a very glass half full instead of a glass half empty type perspective. So, when things like this happen, I really sit with it for maybe like a couple minutes and be like, okay, like I'm letting it go because I don't have time to sit and dwell on something that is clearly not for me. If this door closed, I'm just gonna move on. Like that's all I can do. All I can do is control what I can control, and my actions, my feelings, my emotions, and the steps that I take from this point forward, that's all we can control, right? And it's like when God shuts one door, just know he's already planning to open another one, period. Okay, and I'd rather wait for his best than to just settle with something mediocre, something that's going to make me miserable, something that's going to make my life harder, something that's going to make me anxious and depressed and sad, and something that's going to stress me out even more. Like, I'd rather just wait, okay, than to just settle for something that looks good on the surface that would more than likely break me down on the inside, okay? So I actually want to move into talking about why rejection protects you and how it can come in so many different forms. Sometimes it's in our best interest to really break down the different layers and different forms of protection, because you have mental protection, which is God keeping you away from unnecessary stress and burnout and worry and anxiety, right? Emotional protection, saving you from heartbreak or toxic connections. It didn't work out with that man because it wasn't supposed to, okay? You wasn't able to move forward with that person, right? Somebody who you thought like, oh, he's perfect. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. Okay. Nope. Oops. Saved you some trouble, right? Saved you some trouble. Saved you some havoc in your life. I don't even need you to go that route. This is why this didn't work out. Okay. If you would have continued doing what you was doing, you would have ended up pregnant with a baby, and then all these different things would have became factors in your life when I'm protecting you from that. I'm protecting you from that, shoot, mentally, emotionally, physically, all of that, right? Then you have spiritual protection, keeping you aligned with his will instead of pulling you off track. Like I said, sometimes things don't work out for you because God don't want you to go that route. Like, yeah, okay, my child, you could go this way to get to this small little pot of gold, this small little garden, or I can put a roadblock here, shut that route off, and then I can make you go this route. And if you continue going this route, you're going to run into a whole entire field, okay? A whole entire field full of a harvest, full of thousands of pots of gold or whatever, okay? And, it's just going to work out in your best interest 10 times more than what this route would have given you, right? You're going to get so much more if I take you on this route. So like I said, you have mental protection, emotional protection, spiritual protection, and physical protection. And honestly, those are the things that you really have to pray about. Like, God, thank you for protecting me from not getting that job, okay? Because I might have would have been crying over my computer, or I just left a job that had me down bad. I just left a job that had me stressing and crying and breaking out and all these different things. Thank you for protecting me from, a situation that could potentially have put me in the same exact spot. Thank you for emotionally protecting me from this heartbreak I may have had if me and this person continued on, right? I was holding on to this connection so bad, but it's like, nah, if you would have kept going how you was going, these are the things that could have happened, okay? Thank you for spiritually protecting me and just keeping me on track with what you want for my life. You know more than what I know. Okay, you know more than what I'll ever know. God knows way more than what we will ever know. So it's like, thank you for protecting me from the enemy. Thank you for protecting me from things that, may have been thrown at me, or things that were going to get thrown at me if I went this route, or if this breakthrough, or if this, little thing happened to work out for me, or this door actually did open for me and I walked through it. Like, thank you for protecting me in that manner. Okay. And physical protection, keeping you out of places or relationships that could literally harm you. Let's just say, this is a prime example of an accident happening. You're on your way somewhere that you really want to go, an event, a party, a function, I don't care what it is, right? A date, whatever. You run into some traffic. You don't know what could have possibly happened if you just had a smooth, traffic-free journey on the way there, right? You know, you're so in a rush, you're so ready to get to where you're going, but you don't know. You don't know how protected you really was. You just absolutely don't know what was down the road, okay? You don't know if this relationship was going to bring about physical abuse to you. You don't know if this person was going to put his hands on you. That man that just up and stopped talking to you, randomly out of nowhere ghosted you. We all see them stories on TikTok where women's like, everything was going so good with this man and everything was great and I just felt like I was really falling for him, and then boom, he just stopped talking to me. Baby, you don't know if that man had a secret family. You don't know if that man beat on women and abused women and verbally abused women and sexually. You don't know. You don't know. And it's like, you really have to appreciate when these things happen, because it's like sometimes the thing that you want the most could be tied to the absolute wrong person, the wrong company, the wrong situation, the wrong environment, the wrong opportunity. And that could set you back forever or a very long time. It could just place you in a situation where now it takes twice the amount of work and effort to pull yourself out of that spot. It's like God loves us too much to let us settle for his best, especially when you seeking him every day. Like, God, look, if this is in your will, let it be in your will. If this is in your will, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to keep moving accordingly, right? When you come at him like that, he'd be like, okay, bet. We're going to see. We're going to see. And I'm going to give you, you know, what you're asking me. And if you're asking him to provide the things that's in his will and to provide you with the blessings that he wants you to have, instead of just, I want this, I want this, I want this. I know what's best for me, right? He actually protects us from these things. He grants us our wishes of being able to place us in the best positions possible. So honestly, it's really all about shifting your perspective for real. And you know, I'm never gonna have an episode where I'm not giving y'all practical ways and practical tips that you can start applying to your life right now today as you finish listening to this episode. That's just only gonna help you be more mindful of the things that are happening in your life when they're happening, and how to just handle them more gracefully, not get so bent out of shape, not get so angry and upset and sad and, oh my gosh, I was banking on this and I was just, you know, really planning on this to work out. And no, okay, that's gonna just cause more stress in your life, and you don't need that. So hey y'all, thanks so much for tuning into the conversation. This episode is actually sponsored by my brand, Mindful Vibes 365. If you or anyone you know are currently experiencing feelings of anxiety, depression, overstimulation, mental burnout, and just overall disconnection from God, I'm gonna go ahead and let you know that it's time for you to reprogram your mind and vibe through the power of fasting from secular music. Now, as someone who did this for an entire year and someone that's currently doing this right now, I can honestly say fasting from secular music is one of the quickest, most efficient ways to reprogramming your mind and vibe, gaining a closer relationship with God, bettering your finances, bettering your physical health, your mental health, and just overall, it's going to change your life completely. Now, I know the idea of fasting from secular music for an entire year seems extremely daunting and overwhelming, and this is exactly why I created a 90-day guided workbook that's going to help you successfully reprogram your mind and vibe in just 90 days. This guided workbook is actually going to be filled with recommended resources such as podcasts, sermons, audiobooks, personal development teachings, Bible readings, and so many more resources that are going to carry you through the next 90 days. You're also going to have access to hand-picked thought-provoking quotes and tips that you're going to be able to apply to your life every single day for the next 90 days. And you're going to have space to journal and reflect what's on your mind and what's your vibe for that designated day as you go through and complete the required activities that are set for you every single day. I can honestly say this workbook is absolutely going to change your life, and I can go ahead and congratulate you on the brand new person you're getting ready to become. It's my goal to help at least 1,000 people in 2026 successfully reprogram their mind and vibe through the power of fasting from secular music for 90 days. Make sure you you tap the link below in the description to go ahead and get a copy of your 90-day guided workbook. Congratulations in advance. I can't wait to hear more about your testimony. Let's get back to the conversation. Things first, when rejection hits, you need to understand that the easiest thing for you to do in the moment is dwell. Is to be sad, to feel sorry for yourself, okay? A split second of a moment, that's okay. Don't let that turn into hours and hours and days on end. No. Okay, replaying the situation over and over, blaming yourself. Oh my gosh, how did I mess this up? Is it me? Is it me? No, that's exactly what the enemy wants you to do. He wants you to stay stuck in that stage, distracted, doubting your worth, doubting your abilities, and all the great things about you, so that you can't put a plan in action to go forward. So instead of doing all that, these are the 4 things that you can actually do, that you do have control of. Number 1, shifting your mindset. Instead of asking, why me? You need to ask, what is this teaching me? What am I learning from this? What can I learn from this? How can I look at this from a standpoint of, okay, cool. Like, this is new. This might be something new that I'm dealing with, but, I can look at this from a teachable perspective. This is a teaching moment for me, and you're going to move on. Shift your perspective. Don't be going around here feeling sorry for yourself like, oh my gosh, why me? Why me? Like, no. Think about it in a sense of, you're right. Why me? I didn't have to go down this little traditional path, or, there is definitely something greater, obviously, that's going to come out of this. Obviously, right? That's my favorite thing to say. Like, obviously, there's something better out there. Okay. Number 2, you need to embrace faith. All right. You have to trust and believe that God sees the bigger picture that you can't see. He knows the bumps in the roads. He hears conversations that you don't hear. He sees things that you'll never be able to see. So you need to trust that and have faith and believe, like, God has my best interest at heart, more than I could ever have my own best interest at heart. Okay. He knows way more than I know, and it'll always be like that. So you need to start embracing faith more and fully believing that God got this under control. Okay. I'm going to let him take the wheel right now, and we're going to leave it at that. Number 3, you can practice self-awareness. Notice your patterns. Okay. Were you chasing validation when it comes to this thing that you were rejected from? Did you want to get this new house because you truly wanted it? Or did you want this new big old house just so you could say, oh, I live in a 5-bedroom house, a bigger house than all your friends, all your family members, right? Did you want this new relationship because you really like this person? Or did you just want to hurry up and get into a relationship because you want to be the first person out of your friend group to get engaged and married? You got to ask yourself these questions, look within and see, you know what, maybe it's a flaw on my side. Maybe I'm not thinking about this the right way. What's this opportunity even align with your real goals? Do some self-reflection, and maybe like all of these, are genuine answers. Like, you are coming from a genuine place. You're still going to get rejected. It doesn't matter how genuine you are. You're still going to get rejected, and you're still going to be faced with opposition. So it's just something that you're going to have to get over and get through. But practicing self-awareness in these situations really does help to hold ourselves accountable and look at things from a brighter side perspective and a more logical perspective as well. And then number 4, my favorite one, focus on what you can control. Use this time of being rejected to focus on building new skills and nurturing your network and nurturing your friends and your family and spending more time by yourself. If you're in a single season, it didn't work out with this person, you just got out of a relationship, you're a little heartbroken right now, take this time to control what you can control. You can control the new hobbies that you jump into. You can control the new things that you start to learn. You can control the things that you start to lean deeper into, right? Okay, you know what? I'm going to focus on my business 10 times more. Okay, this company, they didn't want to hire me. Cool. I'm still going to make something shape regardless. Okay, so you have to think about it from that perspective. Control what you can control. You can't control everything. You can't control the doors that are closed in your face, especially when you tried and, attempted and gave your all and did what you could do. But other than that, you can't control the outcome. This quote on my wall literally says, you cannot control the results, only your actions. And that's with everything in life. A job, a relationship, your career field, friendships, anything, investments that you make, right? It doesn't matter what it is. You cannot control the results, y'all. Rejection is really just redirection, because God is either saying like, not right now, or I have something better. Or like I said, nope, that's not for you altogether. That's another option. Not right now, I have something better, or no, this is not what I want you to have. Okay? In general, you really just have to trust that God has something better for you, y'all. Like, when you are rejected from stuff, when doors close in your face, when you don't get the opportunities that you have been wishing for, wanting for, when relationships don't work out, when X, Y, and Z, the things that happen to us on a day-to-day basis that are going to continue happening throughout our lives, you have to look at it like, okay, God has something better for me. Let me control what I can control, do what I can do, continue doing what I'm doing, and that's all you can do. But don't sit and cry over spilled milk. Like, you're going to be wasting your time, you're going to be wasting your energy, and that's how the enemy is going to get you to drift away from all the things that you can be focusing on, all the things that you can be happy about and grateful for. And you don't want that. All right. So in closing, I just want to leave you with the fact that rejection is never the end of the story, y'all. It's simply just like a little tap on the shoulder, a little nudge, a little push, right? A little reroute, and simply just a form of protection. Every no is making more room for a bigger and better yes. So the next time you face rejection in whatever area in your life, remember that it's not happening to you, but it's actually happening for you, for your greater good. Okay, so if you stay with me to the very end, thank you so much. I love you guys. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share your favorite thing from this episode. Share some things that made you think, that made you really look within and say, wow, you know what? I can do this. I can do that. I can apply this to my life. We are growing every single day. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share, connect with us on social media platforms. And I'm so excited about where this podcast is going, the tribe that I'm building, and overall just excited for the journey. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.